Welcome to PaddyCast. On this week, we have a special guest. He's not a sports star, but we're joined by Johnny Dogs from Peaky Blinders, Packy Lee. How are you, Packy?
All good, Paddy. Hope
All
you're
good.
well.
Oh, brilliant, mate, brilliant. It's great to
You're up
have
and
you on
sharp.
for this. It's great to have you on. So, what I want to know is, I want to know how you get started in your career in the acting world.
It's a bit of a long-winded one, to be honest with you. I mean, I was always into music more than anything. Music was
Because you're
more
a DJ now. You're a DJ as well, aren't you?
and I enjoy music, I enjoy the DJ, but I was more into the whole point of, like, I went to Christian Broad School, CBS, in the Glen Road, so there was no drama, and there was music, so I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the rhythm, and, like, I mean, first year, I didn't really know what I was doing, you know? And as much as I enjoyed football, like, I was never, the star player, you know what I mean? I always knew I was maybe going to fit in and be one of the team, but, you could spot some of the guys, for example, who I played football with, the likes of Paul McAreevy, the likes of Kevin Braniff. These guys could play football locally, so you knew that they were very good at what they did. And to be honest with you, I always loved watching certain things. And I mean, you can laugh all you want, but the likes of the A-Team, these things are things that I grew up with. The Karate Kid, the original, these things I glued myself to TV, and we used to have the VCR, you know what I mean? And I used to always try and act out the scenes. And the youth club in Matt Tablet were doing a show called Bugsy Malone. And when I say the rest is history, the rest is history. That was it.
Did you just put yourself forward for that show?
The football was cancelled in the hall because the hall was being polished. So all the boys either could go home or you can join the drama group.
Okay.
I literally went, I'm not going home because I've literally just left. So I'm gonna have a go at this drama group. And I mean, that was it. So a couple of months had passed, and Matt Tablet, which I have always thanked them for, and Ansel Heaney, these people from the local area of Waitrock, they got a busload of us together, and they brought us to the Lyric Theatre, which I'd never been before, for auditions for Oliver. And out of all of us and Matt Tablet, I was the only one that got accepted and got a part, and that was it. And I just loved it. There was always the worry of, did you learn your lines? And people's going, oh my God, I didn't learn my lines. And I'm like, how'd you not learn? I know your lines. I know everyone's lines. I started to just remember absolutely everything that I was being taught. The opportunity was there. Paddy, let me explain to you. I am being picked up by family in a red van that looked like something out of Only Fools and Horses. And all the other kids' dads were picking them up in top of the range Mercs and cars. I used to have to say to my man, oh, listen, say, look, listen, can you just park up the very top of the hill? And I'll walk up and meet you, because don't be coming down. And here, I used to come down and beat the horn. It was one of them. And I don't even know who they are,
You're nuts.
Just completely squandered at the fact that these people are these cars are like, I've never seen a car like this before. And to be honest with you, out of them group of kids, I would go as far as to say I'm the only one who went on to do it professionally and continue that the hunger for it,
As you said there, do you think, and obviously I probably proves it, there's kind of like a class system, like in acting and as the Ireland?
Look, me and you are very well aware, because of where we're from, that some people look at us and within 10 seconds they're gonna immediately have this idea of who we are, and oh, look at him, Belfast acting, and they'll automatically put us on a pedestal that is very hard to get away from. So the answer to that is yes. It's actually even worse than that. The fact that I had to go through a certain barrier in acting because they kept casting me as the joyrider. Now that's grand because you're getting work, and I get it. I totally get it, but I'm not a joyrider, was my reply. And
Yeah.
I can play it as much as you want, but I want to do other things. I want to play. And it was only because I was pushed by a director and an agent in Belfast to do a play called Shopping and Fucking, and you can Google that. And I was asked to play this character who's a rant boy. And then things get serious. Do you understand? Because now you're standing naked on a stage. I did the Hunger Striker movie, and when there's 10 men naked in showers, it's not such a big deal. We just get on with it. But when you're standing so close to an audience and you're so vulnerable, that's when I realized I can do this. And that was the point that I was being then seen for other things other than the joyrider. So yes, I do think there's a class. I do think, as much as it's unfair, I think people from an upper class point of view always have a bit of advantage when it comes to the likes of music, or to be honest with you, that's anything at all which costs money. And I mean money. Do you understand? Like, it's cost like 30, 40, 50,000 to send people at drama school. I couldn't afford drama school. My man died, remortgaged the house, it wouldn't have got me 6 months. Do you understand? I lived in New Barnsley. There's no way we can remortgage the whole entire street, and it wouldn't even got me three years in drama school. It was that expensive. So I just let my hunger and desire plug like everybody else does, and I let all the bad shit that came my way, the name calling, the you're gay, oh you're this, so you like to be at, you're a fruit, you're a gypsy, you're that, these things came at me like a ton of bricks. And to be honest with you, it just made me who I am. Because see, when you walk into a room now, and the meetings are getting bigger, by the way, so it's getting hard out there, and I'm the first to say it, and I love the challenge, so I'm happy with that. But it's a bit like your sport and fighting. You'd have a couple of fights, Paddy, and you've floored a few people, you've smashed them, they haven't even got the energy or speed that you're on. But then your people's asking you to go and go and go, and all of a sudden you're up here at the highest level, and it's hard. Nobody said it's easy, but it's hard, and so is my job. It's the exact same. Mentally, it's a struggle, because when you walk in and you've done your best to learn the lines, and they go, you know what? Nah, you just look a bit fat, or no, your ears are sticking out. What's the crack with them? I went to an audition. I want to hear this. Right? I don't even think anybody knows this. I went to an audition, and I walked in, and I'm not going to even say the girl's name, because it's a pretty cool casting director, and we're all cool now, by the way. But I walked in and all full of banter. She had the head down, and she looked up and went, "You're not Chinese." What? And I went, "What?" And she went, "Packy Lee." And I went, "Oh, man." And she went, "But my dear, God of Almighty, you're not Chinese." Here's me. I know. I was wondering why you wanted to see me for this part, And the director then turned around and says, "Well, why wasn't he in for the bigger part?"
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I'm in that movie, and that's enough said.
Okay.
It worked whenever it did, and people are looking and go, which one was it? Let them. It doesn't matter. But the bottom line is, it's just some people look at paper and go, he's Chinese, she's bound to be from Ireland, he looks like he's from... And it's unfair, because
you're right.
You're standing in the room, and all of a sudden, how do you know I'm not going to do the English accent? You know what I mean? I could have gone there then immediately and went, "Hell yeah, Roy." I should have went, well, and you could have went with a Dublin accent. So sometimes it's a bit annoying, and yes, we are put on that bracket, but
see the way you do all those accents. Like, I've been in your company, I've heard you doing them. Like, did you have to go to kind of a school for that kind of skills, or just
no? The alleyways of Waitrap, they're walking up and down. The amount of times I've walked to the shop from a mile, or done stuff or whatever, I decided to put on some type of accent. I watched a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
I understand that there's an ear to it. I understand if it's going to be London hardcore, you've got to go straight for it all the time. Who do you pick? You pick an ear. You pick a couple of words that you'll know. For example, Roy, I'll fucking got this, mate. And you'll go, you know what I mean? And you'll fly with it, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they'll go, like in auditions, they'll go, can you do Liverpool? And you've just immediately got to go, of course I fucking do. You know what I mean? Why the fuck would I not? It's the same as, like, they ask every young actor, and every young actor is told the exact same thing to say.
Yeah.
If they ask you, do you ride a horse? You have to say yes. Do you understand? Like, if you're telling me now that the only reason I'm not getting this job is because I can't ride a horse, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
And there's me, king of the travellers. Hey, I'm Packy, do you ride a horse? Give me aye, certainly, no problem. Great, get on it. What? And there we are on horses. Burback, Paddy, Burback. I couldn't sit down for 3 days, understand? 3 days. I serious here. Spinal cords, the whole lot, and everything was gone. I was like, lads, is this a joke? They were like, no, we have to. This is how you raid Burback, and that was.
Yeah, that was it.
It's a challenge all the time. Accents, in a way, I just enjoy them. I had a good accent for The Witcher, which was done on Netflix, and it will work no problem, and it would have worked. But there was something about that project which I knew was going to be worldwide. It's a game. I just wanted to have a Belfast accent in it. And like Henry Cavill, you know what I mean? AKA Superman.
Yeah.
Is standing going, I love it. I really think it's brilliant, Packy, you know? I'm like, right, Henry, let's do this. I want to keep my accent as broad as possible. And they're like, well, let it, because people can put the subtitles on if they want. And I'm happy and proud to try and get that accent out as much as possible. Now with the likes of Netflix, you see the likes of the Falls going back on there, and a lot of people are getting our accents quite cool. I just have to sharpen my tools and try and learn to do as many accents as possible. And I promise you, I'm doing that while I'm stuck in traffic. I'm doing that while I'm dropping the kids to school. I'll do it when I pick them up. I'll just do it. I know it annoys me sometimes that I don't get certain words, but I'll keep banging away at it. You know,
you're a perfectionist.
I'll do my best to do it. A bit like yourself, you don't like it when it doesn't go. Anything doesn't go your way. Even the normal day-to-day thing, if it doesn't go my way, like a bad Monday, it annoys me. I hate that. You know what I mean?
See, like boxing, like if you only started boxing, like you're a novice pro, like there's not much money in the sport. So obviously you need a job to support what you're doing. Did you need a job to support your acting at the start?
Right, well, I'm glad you said that, because I've been asked recently about all this, and it's been coming more and more and more of a subject. 100%, Paddy, you have to be clear. When I wanted to go to drama school, my man and dad said, listen to me, here's the crack. The answer is no. Yeah. You can't afford it. We don't want you going to London to work in a bar. Why don't you work and get a career here? So I became a chef. I'm a chef. So I chefed for 7 years. I worked hard in the kitchen. And I went and auditioned during the day. And I promise you, when I was doing a show and rehearsing during the day, I was in the restaurant at night. And when the show was on at night time, I was in cooking breakfast in the morning in the restaurant. I done double shifts every day. There was nothing holding me back. Why? What for? What am I sitting in the house for? What, to play a PlayStation? Nah, I don't need to do it. I need to get out there and do something where I'm involved and keep the energy going, because that was the one thing. I promise, that's the one thing I say to my kids. If you want to go to college, I get it, but you have to have a career. Like, you need it here, and this is a career. A career, I don't mean like, sport or football or acting or boxing. They're dreams, because there's only a few people in those categories that are going to make it anywhere in the world. We're very aware. Like, and then when you're from Northern Ireland, it's harder. It's getting a lot easier than what it ever was, but it's hard. So I'm very adamant that they get a career like chef and mechanic. It's something you can walk into anywhere else in the world and you can work. and that is a career.
Yeah.
And as a chef, I could go to Australia. I could down the street in Tasmania. I had my show that night, and I could walk in and I could say to him, listen, do you want me to do your coffees in the morning? And they were like, you serious? You're only here for 2 months? But why would you? You're not just going to, here's me, listen to me now. I'm coming to serve them free because I just want to be involved in your world. So that's 100% pick. I think that's the only thing as well. In a footballer, in boxing as well. And I've never been in the situation you've been in. So to ask your question back, are you telling me now that the hunger and desire and the want of having to do stuff, as we would call in the normal world, with all due respect, didn't help you in the 6th round when you were grinding down to try and battle it out?
Well, it is true what you're saying, because, you know, as you said yourself there, if you want something, if you really want to get there, you'll do everything possible to fill that gap in life, and you know, go and grab it. And you allude to the fact that that's basically what you've done. You know what I mean?
And I don't know, I can't tell you, mate, because it's still counting in my days, but every single day I go to sleep dreaming that I know what's happening next, what I want. And every morning I wake up and I go, I still know what I want. And I'm telling you now, every night and every morning and every night and every morning from the age of 14, 15 right to now has never changed. Yeah. I say my prayers to the big lad up the stairs. I thank him for everything. And I say, I'm not done yet. Remember that. I'm only starting. And if you sit back and you're happy enough with everything you do, then, you know, I don't really know what to say about that. Look, it's mad because it's all new to me. Every day it's new to me because I don't know what type of audition I'm going to do. I'm doing a film in January. I'm in talks to do a massive movie shortly, which I can't really say too much about. Also, Peaky's is coming back, and I've got season 6, and I already know my lines. I'm ready to go. I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm doing it with. And, like, you know, this has been a hard year for all of us. Like, I mean, the whole entire world. So, to sit back and reflect for a minute and not lose focus of your dream is very, very, very important, to be honest. Before
we're going to the Heroes, like, what show did you take part in the theatre?
In the theatre, I've done plenty of shows. For example, I've done the West End, where I've done the likes of Scenes the Big Picture in the Royal National Theatre. I mean, the Royal National Theatre, mate, there's me down. There, my photographs on the wall now. It's like, it's incredible. And it was an amazing show. And I've had the absolute privilege and joy to work with the same writer a few times. So he did another show called Shoot the Crow with Jimmy Nesbitt, Conduth Hill, who's from Game of Thrones, Jim Norton from Father Ted. And all of a sudden I'm walking down the street and there's my name on lights that they didn't want to put up, by the way, because they thought was racist.
Why?
Because Packy Lee. Right? Okay. And they went with, can we, you know, we're just thinking of maybe making your name, you know, and I'm like, hold on. Jimmy Nesbitt's letter, his J's, that's his. You know what I mean? So Jimmy Nesbitt, with all due respect, overheard the conversation and he interrupted and he said, if you're changing his name, change mine. And the rest is history. My name went front, center, bang, and the proudest moment of my life in theatre is that. They're two different jobs. Theatre and TV is completely different. It's a bit like, I explain it a bit like this. There's one car, but there's two different companies we need to go and see. We need one person that deals with all of the engine and all the electronic madness. And then there's the other guys we need to go and see. It takes care of all the body work. Okay. And in my world, theatre is the mechanic. Gets down, gets dirty, oily, greasy, really gets into character. Sometimes they're down there for their lunch in Stranmillis and they're in fucking character. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, he thinks it's 1960. For fuck's sake. And the other one is more the body work, the shame, the glimmer, the gleam. I'd say that's more filming and that's more of a different career.
Yeah.
You don't get the chance to arrive to work hungover like you can in theatre. Have a cup of coffee, chill out, talk about something on TV, and then start to do a scene holding your script. and learning your lanes as you go along, because that's theatre. TV is learn your lanes in your hotel room. You'll not learn them for anyone else. Your performance needs to be ready on the day. No fucking about. No nothing. Get off script. Learn your lanes. Know where you want to be. If the director gives you notes, you need to listen, adapt, and learn them and deliver. Because you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking pounds. If it's not correct, then we have to reshoot it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when I was learning how to do all the sword fighting for The Witcher, the lanes then just happened because they were happening, and that's fine, and the energy came with it. But the most important thing was that we couldn't get an angle wrong. Like if I want to hit him like that, then you can't see my face. It's a reshoot. If I go like that, I'm not holding the sword right. So you have to hit there. And the amount of times you couldn't get to that in the rehearsals, you're like, for fuck's sake, I'm trying to learn lanes here. What the fuck do you know, where am I? And you start to frustrate yourself, and then you realise that we're playing with real weapons here. And like, these are stuntmen and they're top of their game, and you need to be at the top of your game, and now the pressure's on. And let me tell you, Paddy, there's that moment where it'll break you, or you'll breathe it in and you'll go, I fucking love this. Love it. And that's my tray for it. Honest to God, I don't care what it is. I'm very involved in it. I'm very passionate towards what I do with it. Anybody that knows me knows that I am. And that's who I am. I'm the same with your sport. When you're fighting, you see me, I'm standing there. You know, listen, I didn't just stand there and people give me tickets. I've been going to fights for years. I've been the one at the back trying to get a ticket, standing in the nosebleeds, because, to be honest, at times I couldn't afford tickets to buy them. And everyone's went through that process, and now all of a sudden, like, I'm walking through a town today, I say, give me the yours, Carl. And, like, you know, it's how you doing, and you're getting on well and happy days and the chat and the banter, and it's all grand. But at the end of the day, this is just a guy who's out trying to live his life and trying to build a career and trying to get to the next level of where he is. And I don't mean like another fight, blah, blah, blah. I mean levels. I mean, like, we're kids. We're talking kids and phones and WhatsApp groups, and that's the next level, you know? That's hard. Parenting is fucking hard, man. You know?
It is. Stressful. See as well, you know, like, only people from Ireland, I guess, would be aware of this show. Pull and Moves, a show I loved.
Loved it.
Very funny. It's a very funny show about what you could probably say is proper Belfast humour.
Yeah.
Or was it doing this show?
So let me explain that, right? That was one of the weirdest times of me and Jordan and Kieran Nolan's lives, because we're the best mates.
Yeah.
Right? And all of a sudden, me and George in London, and with this big job, and then we're getting a phone call, and we're allowed to have a break from the big job to do this TV series. And not only that, I'm not just doing that one. I'm over in Liverpool doing the Holy Cross movie at the exact same time. So we're doing all these three different things, and Kieran's doing Pull and Moves, and all of a sudden he's going to do Mad About Dogs straight after it. Like, things were thriving for us. And nobody has any answer. Like, from the highest level of the BBC, I've fucking asked. Like, nobody has any answer of why we didn't do that again. Nobody's given us a straight answer why season 2 didn't go ahead. Yeah. It's been written. Pierce Elliott, we see him all the time. I see him. He's ready to go with it. I'm ready to go with it. I'm telling you now, I would love to go with it. Because do you know what it was? Absolutely top drawer comedy of reality. Just reality. Like the up-to-date 2020 version of Only Fools and Horses. That type of state of comedy. We're not standing in a market trying to sell stuff. Fuck that. I'll be Baltic. We're out trying to do things like pull an accent and get a few quid of fucking used insurance. You know, and it's people out there doing that. And we're getting all these stories about this dog and fucking spraying it black. And it's a fucking leisure. It's a what? So it's a leisure. So that's fucking great, mate. And these things are just like, you walk down the other road you could just have 4 or 5 stories in seconds because it's just
no problem.
the amount of characters we have in Northern Ireland and Belfast alone in general, west, south, north, and east. I'm telling you now, we are a very characteristic country, and we wear our heart in our sleeves. But there's one thing about us, man. We are good crack.
100%.
Like so I've no idea why that didn't go ahead. You know, I love that. Somebody spoke to me about that the other day about the dog food scene. Paddy, I swear to God, the wee lad rained off every single line on it.
Serious?
Here he was, you downed it up, and you says to him, "Here, big lad, bang, 50 quid, smart corn." You went, here, dog food, and you done that with your show, everything. And I'm like, when did you watch it? Did you watch it recently or something? Or he says, no, I watched it about 15 years ago. I was like, unbelievable. Like, he remembers every line. Big wardrobe, great actor.
Big wardrobe.
Simon Delaney, fantastic. Does very well, of course, with his own show down the south. Kieran McManaman, an amazing talent. And then you've Jared and Kevin and the crew. But, you know, you'd also Kathy Keira Clark, who's in Dairy Girls, which is the aunt in Dairy Girls, Kathy Keira Clark.
Was she also in a show called Baby It's Cold Outside?
I think she might have been. She was in Bloody Sunday, I think, as well. But just, I mean, this, you know, the talent that we had was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it, you know what I mean? So I wish we could do it again. It'd be great.
I would like to see it again. But, you know, you've been in numerous award-winning shows. Peaky Blinders being your breakout show, you probably say. The show that was won many awards, one of them being a BAFTA. You know, how did this opportunity come about to be on actually Peaky Blinders?
The opportunity of Peaky Blinders is a circle of this. Actually, I don't really think I've said this to anybody. Right, so I'm on stage and I'm doing George Best the musical. At the end of George Best the musical, there's a short movie happening called The Shore. The director, Terry, told us at the audition, whoever's doing it, you'll be a lucky enough lad, regardless of the cheap money. There's no money in it. It's a short movie. That's the way short movies are. This is going to win an Oscar, you know? I'm like, what? Right there on. And then all of a sudden, I do The Shore. And when I done The Shore, it won the Oscar. And when it won the Oscar, I got recognised by somebody in London. I got word from a good friend who knew the friend in London that there's this show called Peaky Blinders happening. And all of a sudden, I'm over and we're in the room. I'm in the room with Otto talking about the Oscar and the fact that we won. And I was only cast in Peaky Blinders for one day. I was only meant to do one day. It's a big, you know, the writer talks about it a lot. He's very keen to get the story out to younger actors out there and so is the BBC, in fairness, especially the producing guys, are very aware that me and one of the other guys were only cast. I think it was only two of us. It was me and Natasha were the only two cast for one day. And we've now done, it's our 10th year anniversary, I think, in October.
That's obviously good you are. You know what I mean?
Well, I think so. I think it was about the energy that we brought on the day. She came in a year later than me. I done the first day's filming and I done the read through. I read Sam Neill's lines in the read through. They wanted to hear the Belfast accent. One of the guys come up and says, "Fuck me, mate, what fucking heck? Are you playing the cop, mate? Are you the gypsy? Who the fuck is he? Who are you, mate?"
Okay.
You know my name? And nobody, like, me mom didn't know, and I was like, "Who are you?" And he said, "No, I'm just fucking reading, mate. I'm not in it." You're not in it. You're asking me that. What the fuck's happening?
Like, what was it like being cast alongside the likes of like Cillian Murphy and Tom Hardy? Was it intimidating at all?
No, not at all. Remember, I was cast along with Cillian, and I knew Cillian from the National Theatre and from the theatre world, and I knew friends of Cillian's, and I'd watched a few of his shows. He had came to London and seen ours, and I knew it was only a day, so I was like, look, let's make it a break. I can't lose anything. I'm going to give it everything I have. I'm going to get into character and really play with this this gypsy character who's meant to be best friends of this guy, and that's all it was. And like, I never got cast alongside Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tom Hardy got cast alongside me. Remember, I was there first.
Right.
No, I'm only joking. That's a big deal because it's a massive deal, because if people had the audition now for that show, like if I had the audition for Peaky's now, I'd be a bit nervous maybe about getting in, and I'd know that Tom Hardy and people, all these massive, amazing, Paul Anderson, Helen McCrory, these amazing actors on top of Killian are in this show, and I'm a bit nervous maybe. Probably, maybe not. But when I was doing it, I didn't really know anybody in it because it was just being cast, and I didn't know who was going to be in it. So the fact that every year it's getting bigger and bigger, and there's bigger and bigger and bigger names coming on, and all these guys, is it getting a wee bit more daunting? Yeah, of course it is. Of course, why wouldn't it be? But I'm there, and the only thing I can do is literally give as much as I can with the guys, work hard, be there, be on time, be focused, don't fuck about, and most importantly, be creative, be very, very creative, and don't be afraid to try and do something that might look completely fucking silly, but at the end of the day, it's the character that you're trying to play. And the amount of things I've done that the directors went, that's a bit fucking, oh, hold on, that didn't work. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're doing. And that's because I'm trying to do that with that character, because I want him to be the character that's not afraid to say stuff to Tommy, you know. And me and Killian's had that. And to be honest with you, you couldn't work with anybody fucking better than Killian Murphy. Jesus Christ, this guy's on top, on form, all the time, and great crack. Look, he's Irish, like I says, we're great crack to be around, but we're very serious that when we get on, we need to get on with it. So he leads by example, and we do our best. I mean, I personally do my best to just try and follow suit and do the same and the best I can, you know.
I think your role in that movie, I think your personality normally, the way you get on, it helps a lot because you're a great personality, you're very outgoing, and the role you play, it just fits perfectly.
I suppose that's the whole point of acting, is that you need to then adapt to. You need to watch something, and you're taught this at a very young age. You need to watch something and make sure that you don't see the person acting. You're not meant to see acting. You're meant to believe the person. So you need to believe in it. And the only way I believed in the colourful Johnny Dogs with the characteristics is because that's the way Steve had written them on paper. I just read it that way, and I just add in my twang. So instead of saying, "Hey Tom, hell yeah," I thought, "Fuck that, hey Tom, hell yeah," you know, and just change it with a wee bit of it. Instead of ending on the down, maybe end on the up. And instead of going, Jesus, look at the day it is. Look, maybe head it was something else. You know what I mean? Jesus, no, look at the day it is. And throw in something that's going to make somebody go, what the fuck? Because, you know, at the end of the day, people at home want to be entertained. Yeah. But so do I. And so do you. And so does everyone else doing it. We're not bored in our job. Yeah. We're very on the ball and creative. And like I say, Steve, you'll do it a few times, and then the director will decide in the editing suite what's right and what's not. But at times the director just trusts you. You do it in one take, and you're out. I'll tell you this, you know, there's a scene without giving anything away in Peaky's, and Killian's covered in blood, and I have to come in. And it was a bit of madness with the timing on that, because we needed to be out of the building in 4 minutes. And we did that take in one go. And we were out in 3.5 minutes. We were out in literally 3 minutes, 50 fucking seconds, out the door, done, we're here. And that was it. Like, and the reason that worked is because he trusted me where I was going to be at the time of doing it. I trust him. We're there, and at the end of the day, we know our lanes. We're very aware where we need to be. You know, it's very important to, you know, not lose focus.
Like in Peaky Blinders itself, you know, Jamie Muir, who was an ex-British European champion, and who's also Carl Fratton's trainer at the minute.
Yeah,
had a part. Did you talk to him about boxing? Because obviously you're a massive boxing fan.
All right, so as soon as Jamie came on board and Travis, I'm sure you know Trav, and the two boys came in, we were locked in a room for about 4 or 5 hours. The great thing about me being involved in day one is that it was the fight day. So we choreographed the fight, and I was able to say, lads, we need to get more dirty and gritty. Now, what was great about that is I'm sitting saying, we need this and we need that, and Jamie's going, yes, and we need this and we need that, and Trav, and I'm like, right now, and remember, I don't fight, because I had this thing in my head going, if I can stay out of the fight and sort of not get killed here, there could be a small possibility that they bring me back. So why don't you use all fight? I think Johnny Dogs would more or less stand beside the tent and just sort of watches, you know. And the old man, right, why? And I went, because he's friends with Tom, and, you know, and he said, look, it doesn't say in the script, like, he fights, you know. I don't think I fight at all. And the director came down, he's laughing, and he went, no, you don't fight, and you stand here. And I am involved. I enjoy it. I've done boxing in New Hill for years. When I was only 14, 15, 16, and I really enjoyed it. But the most important thing about me enjoying it was the fitness side of it, because it's one of the only training sessions where you literally could feel sick within 30 minutes, you know. Yeah. No matter how good you are, you will physically feel sick within 30 minutes. I do 2 rounds. I do 2-minute rounds, 2-minute hits on the weights, 2-minute rounds, 2-minute hits, 2-minute rounds. See, by the 4th 2-minute bang, I'm like, and we're literally only, what, 16 minutes in here or something? Yeah. It's like dead time, and I'm only training. Like, nobody's hitting me back. And that happens in acting. So I'd be standing and I'd be like, right, and we're going to the audition, and I'd be like, and I'd be like, right, I'm going to go in, I'm getting in character. Fuck it, I'm getting in character. Right, I'm getting in, all right, I'm Packy, all right, right, and then bang, and the door open and go, hey, I'm Packy. Because everything just falls to the fucking floor. So your audition sometimes as an actor isn't in the room. Your audition sometimes is on the way to the room, because you need to hold your balls. Yeah. Sometimes people, like, for example, you get there and you'd be like, right there on, you've had 6 cups of coffee, 4 bottles of water, we've had a mouthwash, and all of a sudden then you're like, now, there is no possible way my mouth could be dry. It's not possible. But you see, by the time I sat down and said, hello, how you doing? I'm telling you, dry is not the word. It's just pure sand. What was that? Your water. You know, and then when you drink too much water, halfway through the audition, what do you need to do, kid? Can you give me a second? So, you know, so these are things you've got to learn. And the only way you learn them is by experience of doing them. You'll need, and actors will, you know what I mean? An actor's life is not success. An actor's life is designed for failure. Yeah. Like I said, a boxer's life is not for success. It's designed to get absolutely whacked and bait as much as you possibly can with punishment, and then hopefully be one of the top 1% that does something with it, like your good self. And I'm just trying my best to be involved in that category at the minute, where I'm still able to fight it. Oh, well, we'll keep fighting, Pig, with no choice, you know.
Actually, the first time I met you properly was in Glasgow. I was with Jamie Conlon and another actor turned boxer, Tyrone. Right. Where we were at the time, like, Trump McKenna was in the mini kilt.
So I were at the time, Tyrone was in the mini kilt, and I knew a lot of the cast, and still do know a lot of the cast from the mini kilt. So it was just that, you know, he wasn't that size in the mini kilt. All of a sudden, he's massive. He's just spread it out. God knows what they're feeding him. And I think Tyrone's a character again, and it's something that Tyrone, I'm sure, will venture into. Yeah. Same as Michael. You know, at one stage, the director phoned me from Piggy's and went, Packy, I'm thinking of Michael Conlon here for a role. So, you know, it's me, why? I do know Michael. But then Michael couldn't do it because
He's
he's
away from.
fighting.
I remember that. He was in LA.
And then all of a sudden you're like right then on, and like we have a different director every year. This is the only time we have the same director, Anto, 2 years in a row. He's done season 5 and he's doing season 6. So every other year it's a new director, and Demo, who we call Mr. Cafferty, as they say, is the director. He just loves Michael, and he done an advert or something. I think with him. I think he shot the electric advert or something.
Yes,
for
Ireland.
And he was the director, and he'd seen the energy that Michael had. And so look, listen, the guys might even fall into that category. You know what I mean? Who knows? Look, listen, I might be the first ever 50-year-old pro boxer, you know, making his debut. What's that there with gum shield on, going, what is happening here? How do we get to this stage? You know? Everyone has a plan until you get a punch in the face.
You yourself, you know, you're really putting Belfast on the map, landing such a major role within Peaky Blinders. You know, how do you feel about this here? Is there any pressure on you? Because, as I say, like, you have put Belfast on the map in terms of acting. Or Ireland, sorry, are you Ireland?
I mean, that's a good question, mate, to be honest. I'm having a wee bit of that happening at the minute where I feel now that if I'm out having a sandwich, I'm being watched, like, in a weird way, you know. You'll always hear, it's him. It's fucking him. You know? And you know what I mean? Or the other ones, well, is they're standing there and they'll forget to turn the flash off on their phone, you know.
Hold on.
And then when you turn around, they're literally take the photograph of no one. Like, it's me. You haven't even got your mate pretending to be here. You know what I mean? And then you've got the good 90% of Belfast in general, who will just go, all right, Johnny, or this, or they'll give me that respect, and that's a weird emotional time for me, because, mate, it's very hard to have a dream in school that nobody believed in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, because of your dream, it's how people call you. It's the weirdest thing. Also, as well as it's your man, isn't it? And you'd go, all right, and then go, told you it's not him. Fuck's sake, he's from here.
No.
Here, told you it's not him. Here, he's from here. I'd be like, it's fucking brilliant, absolutely, you know what I mean? And you see the two of them down there and on, arguing, right, sure, I know he's near soldier, me man, no he's not, he's a gypsy accent. And he's like, I know he's an actor, and you're gonna hear them, he's going, fucking act, he couldn't put that accent on, for fuck's sake, you know. I'd be like, oh Jesus. Sometimes when I drive past them or whatever else, like, I mean, I'm sitting there there, and I'm in to grab a coffee in McDonald's, and I can hear through the window, I can just feel it through the window that there's somebody in a car looking at me, and they couldn't get to the window because obviously it's too far.
Yeah. And
they were beating the horn, but I just didn't, you know. And when I turned around, they were all like, "By order, the Peaky Blinders!" And you're like, "Oh, right, okay." Oh. And then when they do that, other people in the shop realise it's you, and then and listen, it's a very good show. People enjoy it. I'm very proud to be in it. So there's a lot worse that it could be known for, I'm sure. So I thank God every day that that's the case. But I can tell you this, mate. If you think it's good now, then it's going to get a hell of a lot bigger.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
What we're about to do over the next few seasons, so hopefully all being well with this coronavirus is very special, to be honest. And I'm very, very proud to be involved.
Yeah. What would you say would have been your toughest moment in your career? Like, for example, have you ever really wanted a certain part or a role and not got it?
Yeah. I was down to the last two for the Pacific, which was the Spielberg series. And then I was over in New York for The Departed. And that didn't quite just click. But I can bet your balls, Paddy Barnes, I'm telling you now, they didn't click for the right reasons, because when I go back again, they will be fucking clicking. And that's the only attitude I can bring to the table, because if I have any other mindset, mate, then the doubt and the worry of why the last times and everybody else didn't. Some things just don't go your way, mate, and it's not because somebody else was a better actor. They just fit the purpose and the timing better at the minute. Another very famous director has also stated very clearly that we don't cast talent, we cast the face, and then we make them the talent.
Yeah.
So there's different actors and different directors who'll work with different people different ways. So, and to be honest with you, pressure is something that, fuck's sake, and I really want to get much pressure on trying to learn your lines and then the part. I mean, you don't get it wrong, let's go again. Regardless of it, get the camera up and let's go again. You know, you can't have too much pressure on yourself. You'll put your head away. Is Packy's hard work? Most certainly. Is it up there with some of the hardest work that I've done, as well as it's some of the rewarding? Yes, you better bet your balls it is. Have I had more challenging days at the office? Yeah. Is there more challenging days in normal life to life? Aye. So, you know, it's not really something, you know, I don't drive an ambulance. And I don't deal with first responders jobs. These are jobs where they're heroes in my eyes, as well as the NHS staff, and those type of guys deal with pressure every single day. You would deal with pressure in your career because that you're fighting for a goal, literally fighting for it. And my pressure comes mentally. That's something that you have to control yourself, because if you don't, then you're letting yourself down, not the other way around. And that's why I'm a big believer in keeping the head and the mental health and the mental attitude and the positivities and good vibes. Yeah. It's because it's very easy to go into the slope of, with all due respect, fuck this and fuck that and F this and F that. And that's reality for people. And maybe that's why I get on so well with the random Joe Broggs when I meet them and do. I just feel that that's an easy slope to go into. And a very positive mental attitude will always drive you out of it. And I feel if you've got good company around you, good friends, good people who have that energy and vibe, then it's going to do you the world of good. And I'm trying to stay there, mate, you know.
Like, are you able to switch off and, like, get in the character? Like, would you say that you use the method acting as a technique?
Yes, but for the method state of it, one of the hardest jobs was shouting and fucking and playing a rent boy and having to have that contact with another man. And I was a young kid at the time, and I'm doing this to prove people around me fucking wrong, but I'm also trying to do it to show myself that I can do these type of jobs. And at the end of it, there's a very, very, very bad scene which I don't really want to speak about, in fairness. And it's so bad and so evil that it took me 15 minutes of, like, I was in convulsions, mate. I had complete convulsions at the end of every single show. By the time the show was over and we were having our curtain call, I was literally just coming out of convulsions. And I'm very strong enough within that reason. It was just, that was a point where I was breaking. And I didn't really have my mates around me as such, you know. And with all due respect, that's the way it was. I'm in a different company. It's different people, different actors. They're from England. It's weird. It's, you know, and that was the start of proper challenging shit for me, mate, to be honest. But that's something that we have to just and get on with, mate, you know, and try our best to get through it, you know.
And we're giving obviously dates away. Like, when are we going to see the new series of Peaky Blinders?
Man, I'm not 100% sure when. I mean, I'm hoping. Look, at the end of the day, we've had dates already, and those dates have came twice and went twice because of the situation that we're in. So, ideally, you would be getting Peaky Blinders first week, probably around about now. Normally, probably next month you would have got it. Because we haven't even shot it, I think we're hoping to go, I believe, I think early next year. In that meantime, if they could phone and say, there's a lot of us involved, Paddy.
Yeah.
Can't just phone up and say, let's go. They need to make sure the buildings are there, the right actors are available, the right people's available again. And we have a lot of new cast members coming in, mate, and let me tell you, they are they're up there with some of the top actors I've always wanted to work with. So I don't want to give that away, but I mean, I'm very, very delighted about it. You know.
Do you reckon there's any chance of making a small role? Because
I reckon, listen,
I think I've got
you know what I mean? If you could just do my accent, you could be Johnny Dogs' brother. You know what I mean?
I can definitely do it.
You'd have to be the big brother, Paddy. You'd have to be the big brother. So I'm only 21.
You're mad. 21, you know what I mean? As well, I've been told to mention this. You promised my wife and Christine Frampton speaking roles in Peaky Blinders. Can you confirm or deny this? It's a bit common feel of it.
Was there alcohol involved?
Of course there was.
Right, but listen, if it's in writing, then I can definitely confirm it. But if it's not in writing, then I'm not 100% sure. But listen, them two ladies have enough punching power and weight that if they need something, I'm sure they'll go and do it, you know?
Listen, I think we need to start a petition to get another series of Pull and Moves.
Yes, I think we should. I think we should do that. I think we should get a lot of people involved. I think it would bring great spirit to the community of Belfast. And I think it would be very, very funny. Yes, I would love to get involved in that. But I think we need to clear out repairs first.
I ain't Pierce Beaufort, no problem.
If not, we'll have to write a new one between us and pulling your move.
Rolling the canvas.
Okay.
I'm going to do a quick fire round. So I'm going to do 6 questions, okay?
Go for it, mate.
Right. If you could choose a different profession, what would it be?
If I could choose a different profession, football. Would you love to?
Favorite actor or actress?
Joe Pesci, and favorite actress, Julia Walters.
Brilliant. Do you get nervous a lot before acting? I think you told me that already.
Yes, a bit, and I think it's good to get a bit nervous beforehand because it means that you're on the ball and you're prepared for mistakes that may happen and prepared to take them up. Because it's not always about your acting and your timing, it's about the response of somebody else around you. So yes, do I get nervous a lot? No, I mean they take shivers and stuff and go fuck me, it's my lane, fuck me. Okay. No.
What's your favorite quote?
Living the dream.
Favorite film?
With Neil and I.
Okay. Favorite series?
Sopranos.
Sopranos, what a series, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Second to Peaky Blinders, I must say.
Oh, good man, yes. I can't say my own, of course. Shut up, though.
Listen, I need to thank you for coming on. Packy, it was brilliant. But before you go, can Johnny Dogs give the PaddyCast a shout out by the order of the Peaky Blinders?
Yes, of course, the PaddyCast. So here it is now, by order of the Peaky Blinders, the PaddyCast. I hope you're well. You get tuning in. This is a fucking great interview, I'd say.
Okay, you are the man. Thanks, man.
All right, man.